It was actually my husband that noticed. He says, she's blind. We had been in the hospital visiting her, and we came home, and he says, she's blind. I'm like, no, she's not. Wait a minute. Is she? We had, the nurse had taken 2 Polaroid pictures of her, and one, she was looking right at the camera. Well, actually, she had given me the camera, and I just kind of remembered having to follow her eyes to take the picture to where she was looking at the camera. Oh my gosh, you're right. So they had specialist neuro-ophthalmologists come in, and sure enough, by the way, she'd had another stroke that had affected 4 new areas of the brain, and 2 were in the back that control the vision. And they didn't believe she would, because the damage was so bad apparently, that she would ever regain her eyesight. And I thought, well, you know what? I've been able to help her with all of her other problems and being developmentally delayed and everything. We got this. I was just worried about her emotionally being able to handle being blind. And every day we would walk in and not say anything, and she would start to panic because she didn't know who was coming into the room until we said Jessie, and then she knew it was us. And the day I finally got to hold her, she had tried to throw her hand away and almost jumped out of the bed trying to get away from her hand when she put it up to her mouth. And I don't know what she saw. Maybe she saw a monster. I don't know. But she was terrified of it. And I was holding her, and she just was unconsolable. And I thought, up to this point, no matter what we went through, I could always console her. She always took comfort in me. And so I thought, gosh, here is this poor little girl who's being held by someone who smells like mommy, who sounds like mommy, who feels like mommy, but looks like a monster. It just killed me. So I wrenched my back trying to help her. And I was so upset, and my husband had to work. So I went home and I had a prayer. And I told God, I said, I have done everything you've asked me to do. I've given up everything for this child, and I will continue to do this. And I've walked the halls in the hospital. I've done therapy with her, and I will take care of her blind as long as you allow her to be with me. All I ask is for her to be comforted. And I had this peaceful feeling just wash over me, peace and love and comfort. And I just enjoyed it for a while. And then I got up and I called the hospital. And they said, you know, she's just calmed down in the last 10 minutes. She's doing really well. And later on I called, and, oh, she's eating. And I'm like, she's eating? Wow. Yeah, she hasn't been upset since you called before. And later in the middle of the night I called, oh, she's doing so well. They're talking about moving her out of ICU, out on the floor. And I'm like, no, she gets more care in ICU. No. Oh, no, it's a good thing, they tell me. And I'm like, well, yeah, that means she's doing better, but she needs that care when I'm not there. So the next day, sure enough, they were moving her into a room, and it was a double bedroom. She was alone, but she was in the second bed. And my husband and I walk in. She turns around and she cries out, Mama. And I ran to her and picked her up, and we both just cried. She could see me from across the room. She could recognize me. And I thought, all I asked is that she be comforted.